Okay, good morning, everybody, and thank you for attending our webinar this morning. We're going to start off and just give a little bit of an overview about ELB. We're excited to be here because we've added some services that align to EANS that we'd like to talk to you about. And so we'll give you a little bit of an overview to start off this morning. And I'm going to share my screen, and then I will turn it over to Jack Friedman, the founder of Study Smart Tutors. So with ELB, we are a Class Wallet approved vendor for Texas for the EANS program. We've been working with a number of private schools in Texas over the past year to provide interactive collaborative STEM technology, interactive whiteboards, displays, flexible classrooms, and all types of technology to mitigate learning loss in the classroom. Also health, wellness, and safety devices, student intervention programs, and a lot of other IT services. One of the things that we wanted to talk to you today about is a new service that we are offering that directly align with EANS around student intervention and tutoring services. And we'll explain more why we feel that's such an important part of this offering. ELB has been around for 36 years. If you're not familiar with us, we are an education technology and solutions provider and furniture provider for the market. We are an international company with U.S. offices in Dallas. We've got folks in Houston, across to San Antonio and El Paso, and throughout all of Texas that we support with our project managers, our sales team, our installation team, and our management team. Just quickly, some of the products and services that ELB offers are the interactive panels. We do a lot of work with Boxlight and ViewSonic, Chromebooks, laptops, PCs, devices, desktop computers, teacher desks, mobile furniture, allowing you to separate that furniture in case of another pandemic or a virus outbreak, allowing you to separate the students. A lot of library refreshing that we've done to create a learning environment that is engaging for students, which again will allow them to enhance their learning. Classroom audio solutions that have been very, very valuable through the process of getting through the pandemic and why the EANS money is available. And also a lot of STEM and science solutions, primarily around 3D printing, robotics, and other things in software. At ELB, we have an overall solution for EANS that has been approved by Class Wallet and by the Region 10, which includes all the products that I talked about before. Some of the things that on the furniture, just looking at the photos here, we've done numerous libraries that fall under EANS, as well as classroom remodeling, teacher desks, interactive environments, even lobbies, general areas, displays, digital signage to inform students about upcoming events and things that they need to know about. But today we're really here to talk about our partnership with Study Smart Tutors, and Jack Friedman from Study Smart is going to walk through that. We've partnered with Study Smart because as a provider for all education solutions, one of the big challenges for schools is also through this process to increase the student achievement levels, to mitigate that learning loss. And the tutoring programs and intervention programs that Study Smart has is aligned right to the EANS 1 and EANS 2 funding. And so we are working closely with them in numerous schools throughout the country on these programs. And I'm going to turn it over to Jack to tell you more about that. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Andy. Really appreciate it. Excited to be partnering with ELB. Give me 1 second here and I will share my screen. All right. Are you all able to see it now?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So as Andy mentioned, our mission at Study Smart Tutors is to provide academic support, college and career readiness, and other interventions specifically focused at populations in need, low-income students, first-gen students, and other special populations. And we'll talk about a little bit about that as it relates to EANS funding here in a moment. If you were on this webinar, you are likely very familiar with EANS funding, but we'll talk briefly about EANS 1 and EANS 2 here. If you are an eligible private school in Texas, you are a nonprofit school, and you were operating before the COVID pandemic started, you are eligible for EANS funding, and you are eligible for EANS if you did not apply for a PPP round 2 loan. If you applied for round 1, you are all set. And we'll talk about EANS 1 expenses. Andy mentioned some of them earlier with some of the health and safety things. Those are not the things that we at Study Smart Tutors provide, so we'll kind of skip through those. But as we talk about the other acceptable expenses for EANS 1 in the support for education category, we'll talk a little bit about educational technology, support for learning loss, and redeveloping instruction. And those last 2 points are really the areas that we focus on. Briefly, EANS 2, and this is really for us where we've been able to support more schools and where we're really excited to partner with ELB is around EANS 2, because this allows schools who are serving a significant percentage of low-income students and first-generation students to have some additional funding. And that's really our area of specialty is serving those populations of students in need. So we're really excited to be partnering with ELB along with that funding stream. Andy mentioned class wallet, so I won't talk about that, but we will jump in briefly and we'll talk about some of the support for learning loss. And a question we always ask all of our schools, and you as you're watching this are probably thinking about, is what are we doing to support our most struggling students? And hopefully that's a question you're thinking about as you're looking at utilizing your remaining EANS funding, is how do we maximize that support for those students in need using the funding that we have left? So the most common things that we are asked for in that area is the learning loss support. And we call this tutoring or intervention or academic support, whatever you want to call it. We offer a wide variety of models that will support learning loss for students at your school. At the elementary school level, our most popular service by far is our push in the classroom tutoring. That is what it sounds like. Our tutors will push into the classroom. They will support your teachers. They will support groups of students who are in need in those classrooms exactly where they already are. We also do pull out support if you have an advisory period or you have a study hall period, you have extra time where students in need can get some support. We do offer a pull-out program as well there. You'll see it across the board here is with after-school tutoring as well. And that is what it sounds like. And that can come in a variety of flavors. We have some schools who are interested in homework help and assignment catch-up during that after-school time. We have others who are more interested in targeted subject-based interventions, and we can run assessment cycles, and I'll talk about that on the next slide around what that would look like. If you have English learners, we can support them as well. We have a variety of curriculums and programs that support that population of students. You'll see in our high school models, we do offer appointment-based tutoring. We offer evening and weekend programming, depending on what your school needs look like. We do offer both virtual and in-person support, though we are seeing in our current environment, in-person support being the area of biggest demand, highest need, and definitely ease to get off the ground and get students to participate in is putting tutors where your most needy students already are, which is in the classrooms. So this is what an implementation model of tutoring can look like. It doesn't have to look like this, but ideally there'll be an assessment, learning objectives, opportunities for tutoring, and then a reassessment of student learning, pre and post course surveys. This is kind of what an after school model would look like. It doesn't have to look like this, but I'd say this is kind of the most common implementation of what an after school tutoring model can be. As mentioned here, the number of hours, the length, the implementation model can all be customized to fit your school's specific needs. And I mentioned virtual and in-person are also available. Again, in-person probably going to be something that your students are going to be most responsive to. In terms of launching our tutoring program, we always tell folks we are not a staffing agency. We are not sending you a body and then leaving you and saying good luck. We really work with you and your team, and we work closely with you to make sure that our tutors are, number one, understanding the climate and the environment and the learning environment that they're going to be placed in, right? And the context is key there. Number two is making sure we've met with your school staff to understand what the goals are, right? Ideally, we're understanding, what are your department chairs doing? What are your math teachers doing? What are your English teachers doing, right? If we're going to be supporting in those classes. Obviously, then it's working with the students and their families to make sure they understand, hey, this is the opportunity that you're receiving, whether that's in the classroom, whether that's in an after-school program, whether that's on a Saturday or a summer or however you'd like to do it. This is something that we'll really work closely with your team on. Our academic support team, our academic specialists, our coordination team, they'll be working closely with your school sites to make sure that this implementation is as little work on you all as possible, but as comprehensive as we can to make sure that we're providing the most successful implementation with your students. Just to show you some of the flexible schedules and some of the models that different schools offer, I just happened to pull here's an elementary school push in the classroom model that also has a little bit of after school mixed in. So this school is interested in ELA tutoring, as you can see here. And our tutors are there basically all day, Monday through Thursday, supporting different bands of students. So if you look at the Monday, our tutors are working in the TK and kindergarten band in the morning. They're moving to the 1st and 2nd grade band towards lunch, and then they'll work with the 5th and 6th graders after lunch. Same idea on Tuesday with the 2nd and 3rd and 4th graders getting support. And this is really what our partnership managers will work with your team to maximize your budget and maximize these hours to support your students. So this school chose to kind of spread this support across the grade levels, right? They're getting the most support with their TK and their 1st and 2nd graders, but they're also providing some support for their 7th and 8th graders and things as well. So this is just a model of what this can look like. And we know that every school is a little bit different. Here's a high school model, similar idea, just a little bit different. Here we're supporting in math. You can see the bulk of the support coming in math 1 and math up through calculus. And then if you notice, the after school is focused on calculus. This school knows that their older students, the ones taking calculus, they're the most likely to show up for after school tutoring. And so that's why we're supporting that in the after school space. In their math 1, they know that those students are less likely to show up for after school, and they're putting more of the hours into the classroom for that. So this is just to give you some ideas and samples of what a tutoring implementation can look like. But we know that at your school, things are going to be a bit different. One of the questions we get a lot is, hey, I've already purchased educational softwares for use. Can you utilize what we already have? And the answer is absolutely. We've seen a lot of schools utilize their EANS funding to purchase things like Renaissance Learning or IXL, iReady, programs like that. We are very well versed in these softwares, and we are absolutely happy to work with your students using the softwares that you may have already purchased. We have principals tell us they have purchased licenses for these things that they've never gone used, or they're underutilized, or the implementation has not been done with fidelity. That's where we can definitely support. You can give us over-the-shoulder access, and we can support students on their devices. You can give us back-end access, and we can develop plans using these softwares. Or if you'd like us to purchase these softwares as part of the process and enroll your students in them, we can do that as well. So again, totally up to you, but we want to maximize what you're already doing before starting something totally brand new, because we know that's the easiest thing to get buy-in from your teachers and from your team. One of the questions we also are getting a lot is, okay, who are your tutors? This all sounds great. So our tutors are all professionals in the field. So we often see that tutoring companies will hire one of two types of folks to implement their tutoring model. The first group that we see a lot of schools utilize are the college student tutors. And those folks are really great at near-peer mentorship, but the professional skills are often lacking. The pedagogical skills are often lacking, and the subject area expertise is often lacking. So that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum we see companies utilize and schools utilize is the professional virtual tutor that's a chat-based model. And that's where the student is getting a transactional subject support, but not getting any near-peer mentorship, not getting any relationship building, not getting any of those other things that come with an ideal tutor, right? So we try to be that in-between space where we're providing a professional in the field who is also has those near-peer mentoring skills, who also has that experience working with the students that you serve. The best case scenario that we always like to do for our tutors is have our tutors match the communities that you serve. So we want to know about your community, we want to know about your student profile so that we can provide you with tutors who have experience working with those types of students, who have experience working in those communities, right? We know that those are things that you can't teach, and that's a huge component of our tutor recruitment. But subject area expertise obviously is a huge part of that. But all of our folks, like I said, are professionals in the field, bachelor's degrees. Many of them have teaching certificates. They're all background checked on our end, and will do any background checks the school needs. But everybody is cleared on our end. They go through a rigorous training and orientation and assessment process with us. And like I said, you're not just getting the tutor with us, you're getting our entire team that comes with it. One question we do get that I didn't answer yet is, what about utilizing your own teachers? And this is something you absolutely can do. If you would like to utilize your teachers after school and have them working with us, the answer is they totally can do that. Same thing if you want to use your teachers to a summer program and hire them through us. We do get this request a lot, and we are more than happy to accommodate that. You absolutely don't need to. Some other supports for learning loss that we offer that are course-based. So we talked about before our tutoring-based with, well, these are some different courses and workshop-based programs that we also offer to support your learning loss. I'd say our most popular that I have here in our reading and writing category are definitely our writing labs. And they are what they sound like, is these are intensive writing boot camps that last anywhere from 10 to 20 hours. You'll identify a subgroup of students, and we'll put them through one of these labs either after school or on Saturdays or in the summer. This is mostly for high school, but we could also do it with middle school as well. These writing labs can support with expository writing, they can support with college admissions, they can support with AP readiness, and those are things that can be done flexibly in a variety of different virtual and in-person implementations. Same thing in the math space. We have math foundations courses. We have a coding course teaching students some of those basics as well. Again, you would identify a subgroup of students. We'd put them through a course, again, either after school or on Saturdays or something like that. And then the last category here are our standalone workshops. And these are on topics such as test taking or time management or study skills or learning styles. And these can be done as a one-off. They can be integrated into an advisory period. These are not course-based. You do not need to sign students up or identify students. These could totally stand alone as part of some existing program or added to anything you're already doing. And we can talk with your team about what some of the needs are and build you a menu of these workshops that best fit your student population. Some of the other things that just briefly want to talk about, some other trainings that we have for your staff. These are things that we will provide you as curriculum, as training for your paraprofessionals, your counselors, your teachers, or other folks on your campus. We have a lot of training on college access and planning, and as well as family programming on the right. We get asked to do family programming a fair amount in supporting the learning loss, and these are some topics that we've covered for families as well. All of our family programs are offered in both English or Spanish. They can be done live virtually. They can be done live in person. We can record them. We've done family podcasts, videos. So if you're interested in family programming for some learning loss support, please let us know, and we can talk about some of the options that we have for that as well. Next, we're love to talk to you all about summer programming. The time is definitely now to think about using your EANS funding to support with summer programs. Summer programming can really come in two flavors, the top right and the bottom left. The enrichment and the academic intervention are probably the two decisions that you'll need to make around your summer program. Is, do you want to focus on enrichment? Do you want to focus on intervention? Or do you want some combination of both? What we've seen here, and we have a ton of summer program experience over this last decade or so, is that a successful summer program is going to have some components of all of these four categories. And anything we offer during the summer is going to hopefully integrate all four of these in some way, shape, or form. So briefly, I want to talk about some of the enrichment courses that we have during the summer. More of these skew towards the middle and the high school levels, but we do have for elementary as well. But the key with enrichment during the summer is making sure you're offering something that is unique, that is compelling, and is something your students are actually going to want to participate in. And that's been a big focus in how we created a lot of this content that I'll briefly go over. So couple of our most popular summer classes are our music production, and we have 3 courses in this pathway. These are certificated courses from 1500 Sound Academy. You'll see the 3 courses are listed on the right: Intro to Music Production, Advanced Music Production, and Careers, Branding, and Promotion. Each of these courses is about 10 lessons. So if you did all 3 of them as a summer program, that would be about 30 lessons total. Students will actually learn how to make their own beats. They'll use industry recognized software. They'll get to do projects. They'll get to collaborate with their friends in creating their songs. This is something that is really, really fun and engaging in the summer, but also rigorous and is truly a career development opportunity. As the content developer with us with this course, 1500 Sound Academy, they are an industry leader in this space, and student certificates in this space will absolutely help with their college applications, with their brag sheets, or with their resumes as they're applying for potential jobs. Next one I want to talk about is our most popular summer enrichment that we've offered these last 3 years, and it is our Sneaker Essentials course. This course is certificated by Fashion Institute of Technology and Complex Magazine, and it teaches students about sneaker design, sneaker retail, and sneaker media. So if you have students who are interested in an art style enrichment during the summer, this course can fit that. If they're interested in a business style enrichment in the summer, this course can fit that. We talk a lot about, and students have the opportunity to make their own sneaker store. And then your students who are interested in the media side, there's a component of that in this course as well. We've seen schools have really successful Shark Tank activities. They've engaged their communities with these courses, giving students an opportunity to showcase their projects. This is a really fun and engaging summer course, while it's also quite rigorous as well. And so your students will definitely be excited to participate, but you're also giving them something that hopefully is building their skill set as well. Next one I'll talk about, this one is a math-focused course, and this one kind of fits that bridge between intervention and enrichment. And this course is an introduction to data analytics using an esports lens. So students who are interested in esports are likely going to be really interested in this course, but it is a math course. Let's make no mistake about it. This is a statistics and data analytics course, but hopefully disguised within a lens of esports and some things that students are interested in doing. This works at any high school level, 9th through 12th, but would be a really, really good summer math enrichment if you're thinking about things like that. Last one I think that we'll hit on here is our Celebrating the Influence of African Culture course. This is really a fashion-focused course more than anything else, but it explores the influences of African culture on fashion, on science, on culture. Students will get to focus on designing their own African-inspired prints, and they'll get to learn some really, really interesting things about African culture that they may not have known. But this course is partnered with Ugo Mosier, who is a really prominent fashion designer in the space, and he has some really interesting insights that he helped us develop for this course, and is something your high school students, and this could work for middle school as well, but your high school students are going to be really engaged with something like this. Last one I want to talk about that I didn't have a slide for, but I'll go back here and you can see it in the bottom left-hand corner, is our Lego engineering course. And this is what it sounds like. It teaches students about Lego engineering and introduces them to the concepts of structural engineering and some careers in STEM. Your elementary and middle school students will absolutely love this course. This is by far our most popular offering at the elementary school level. This can be done as kind of a STEM week. It could be done once a week throughout the summer. We could talk about all the different ways that this could be integrated. But if you're looking to engage your younger students in STEM, this would be exactly the first place I would start. Your students are going to love this program, and it's also going to teach them a lot of really interesting components in the structural engineering space. Last thing we'll talk about, I didn't mention some of our other programming in the professional development space. If you have folks who are interested in some of that, we have trauma-informed practices training, cultural competency training, guiding students through academic setbacks, in-person engagement. So if you have folks who are in need of those types of supports, please let us know and we can talk about professional learning as well. Lastly, I took a snapshot of some of our team here. We have a variety of educational leaders, experts in the space, who've been in the school environments for a long time in a variety of administrative, counseling, teaching, and other spaces. And we're super excited to work with you all to build products and services that will be a fit for your students. Andy, thank you so much. I will share out this PowerPoint with everybody, and we look forward to talking more with you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jack, and appreciate you all attending this morning. Just as to kind of put a final note on this. Just an example of one school that we're working with, one out of many with the tutoring program. They had a need. It was a high school, and with the AP Calc test coming up in May, they had a desire and a need to enhance student outcomes around that. We put together a quick 6-week program for them to do tutoring around their AP Calc course test, which is coming up in 2 weeks. We have tutors in there working with this school now, and they're very, very happy. They're looking at next year at putting a foundational language arts tutor in for the 9th grade. So all 9th graders have this base foundation, which then will help them through their entire high school career, giving all of them the most important aspect, that baseline for language arts. And so there's a lot of different ways to work with you and your needs. Let's talk, and we can set up a consultation with an ELB and a Study Smart tutor person. Again, we thank you all for coming. If there are any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to your local BDM and or directly to me at ELB. And again, thank you very much for coming. Do we have any questions before we part today? Okay. Thank you all and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Bye.